developers can now integrate ChatGPT and Whisper, OpenAI's human-level speech recognition system, into apps and products through the company's API. Since December, OpenAI says it has reduced the cost of ChatGPT by 90%, savings that API users will now receive when they use the API. So this makes it much easier and cheaper to incorporate the capabilities of ChatGPT and Whisper into different products, apps, business models. And it doesn't just mean that every business can have their own instance of ChatGPT. It means they can actually use these capabilities to build innovative new products. So as part of the release, OpenAI provided a few examples, and I just want to run through those quickly so people understand what's possible here. So one early example is Snap, the creator of Snapchat. They just introduced something called My AI, which is a customizable on-platform chatbot that you can speak with like you would a friend or an online acquaintance, and that's built on the ChatGPT API. Instacart is also using the ChatGPT API to pair ChatGPT with its own data, so customers can ask open-ended natural language questions. So instead of having a recipe in front of you and searching Instacart for what you want to buy from the store, you could literally just ask something like, how do I make great fish tacos? And you can start not only getting an answer, but also having Instacart's products and recommendations come up as part of that. And last but not least, Speak is an AI language learning app, and it's apparently the fastest growing English app in South Korea. And they're using the Whisper API to create an AI speaking companion. So, Paul, what do you think of the effects? What do you think the effects will be of releasing these APIs on the overall market, given everything we just talked about?
Even more rapid innovation. We've been saying for months, like you have no idea what's coming. Like the pace of innovation is going to be hard to comprehend. It just accelerated 10x. That's basically what it did. It reduced the cost 10x to build things on ChatGPT. So for developers and tech companies that are building, it just got way cheaper to build what you were building, which means that as consumers or users of it, you're going to see rapid innovation in what you can now do with this technology. So now you may not personally care, like it might not make sense to you, like that they dropped the 10x, but give you a really practical example. In our Piloting AI for Marketers course, and in some of the talks I give, I think even our intro to AI class I teach, we show OpenAI Playground, where we write a blog post, 440 words that we write in 40 seconds. Most of that was writing the prompt, and that it cost 1 penny to do. So previously, if you wanted to access the OpenAI APIs to generate something, it was 2 cents for roughly 750 words. Just simple math here. For 2 cents, you can now write 7,500 words, basically. So so rather than one 750 word post for 2 pennies, I can now write 10 750 word posts for 2 pennies. So if I'm HubSpot and I'm enabling you to write content, it now costs me 10 times less to let you do that than it did a week ago. That's basically what it comes down to. And what's going to happen is it's going to force the rest of the market to make all of their models more affordable. And it's going to rapidly increase innovation. And I'm like, give tangible examples of innovation. Verticalized solutions, like people building things very specific to your industry. If you're in the legal profession or dental or whatever it is, insurance, it's now 10 times cheaper and faster to build verticalized solutions for you. So the tech you use, your core tech stack is going to get smarter. People are going to be launching companies and tools left and right. It's going to be hard to even fathom the amount of innovation that'll be spurred by this technology getting cheaper and faster.
So just to add to that, I saw this tweet a few days ago from Jim Fan, who is an AI researcher at NVIDIA and is a great follow on Twitter. He said that now with the new ChatGPT pricing, it costs $4.30 to process, as in process and entirely learn the entire Harry Potter series. And I think he's done a couple other high profile examples where I think the Bible took $2. So people really do need to understand whether you're building on top of this or not. You need to understand that there were a huge amount of critiques around ChatGPT when it first came out that it was unsustainable from a cost perspective. And a lot of people in the space were pretty clearly saying, well, guys, give it a few months, I guarantee you the cost will drop, the innovation will scale up accordingly. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yep. And the models are, again, there's more advanced models sitting behind the walls at these research labs. So when you combine the cost of doing this with more advanced AI capabilities, it's just going to be crazy. Like I mean, I'm so for our March 30th AI for Writers Summit, I'm doing a state of AI and writing keynote. I'm not even sure I can create that keynote until March 29th. Like I've been debating what am I even going to present, and I think I'm gonna like create the framework of it, but I'm gonna have to finalize that thing like 24 hours before the event because it's moving so quick.
I hope our event team is not listening to
Yeah,
this
don't.
podcast
Could you
today.
give me the deck when?
So before we jump into rapid fire, I want to end with asking you, how should companies, vendors, developers, how should we be thinking about building on top of these APIs? I mean, what kind of considerations do we need to have as we're building our own products?
It goes back to the previous topic of what's defensible. Like,
Mm,
what moat can you create around these things? Because the technology is there to build all kinds of fascinating tools. It's just a question of whether or not those tools will be around in 6 months, or if Salesforce or HubSpot or Adobe or Oracle or any other list of marketing, sales, technology companies are just going to build it themselves because now it's 10 times cheaper for them to build it too. And they have development teams and they have AI research labs. So that to me is it's the billion or $1 trillion question is
mm,
what gets built and what can you grow? And I think, in my opinion, I haven't thought like deeply about this yet. Well, I've thought very deeply about this, but I haven't really come to conclusions. I think distribution matters. I think your existing audience size is critical. So if you're HubSpot and you have 167,000 customers, that matters. And I think proprietary data matters to train unique models. And so distribution and data, with all else being, we all have access to the same models. We all have access to the same infrastructure, basically. Um, I think those two things matter, which means the big players may get bigger,
mm,
and plus they can buy up all the interesting tools. So it may just continue. Like there's going to be, I think, a period of explosion of tools and companies built in the generative AI space, and then I could see over time a rapid consolidation because those a lot of those tools are just going to get churned out and obsoleted over and over and over again, like every few months. But the best ones are going to rise. The ones that are interesting are the ones that built a media company first. Going to our friends Joe Polizzi and Robert Rose at Content Marketing Institute, have been preaching, build a media company yourself.
yep,
That's the play we did with the Institute. It's like
yep.
our play was always let's build an audience of people that are interested in AI and want to learn about this stuff. And then someday maybe, we do something else with it. And so I think distribution matters. I think you might see more software companies buying more media companies again to get access to those people. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not confident enough to make some bets. I've been making bets personally and from a stock standpoint, but I've been doing that for years. Like I've
Yeah.
I've believed that AI companies were undervalued in the market. I don't think Wall Street understood AI, and I think that actually is still the case. I think there's still a lot of value in the market for AI companies. Um, but yeah, I would think long and hard about what is defensible before I start building something.